why do I see brands dropping these inaugural colorways to new sneakers that are coming to market in the most horrible of colorways? Like that shoe is like the embodiment of what I mean. Like where you can, like if you look hard enough at the silhouette, you can clearly see the potential, right, in that shoe.
Silhouette look nice.
The silhouette look nice,
that
but
clay
for that,
color,
that thing looked like it got whittled out of wood. Like, why is that the first glimpse that we see of that shoe?
Why? Because them. That's why.
And his, he was saying these athletes, like back in the day, right? If it's a new Jordan, it's coming in a Bulls colorway.
Yeah, Chicago color first.
Right. And so he was saying this in like the old days, like they have more say in the stuff, and so I feel like sometimes their personal preference gets in the way of their own success, because a lot of times they want this color, but it doesn't do your shoe any favors. You know what I'm saying?
So I wonder, did Nigel had at it?
That's what I was about to say. Basically, the people who saying no to Nigel should be saying no to Shai, and the people saying yes to Shai should be saying yes to
Or
that's kind of like with that, because I looked at that shoe too, and I'm like, plus he's really big into fashion, so he probably told them, I want a shoe that I can rock all the time and just make me hoopable, like make it basketball,
make it PE. But that should not be the first introduction.
Yeah, that's what I'm
talking about. The silhouette in itself. When I looked at the silhouette, I'm like, this look like a Mason Margiela shoe from like 5-7 years ago. It's just like a hoopable version. But I know he's big into fashion, so they probably told him
the
like
shoe. Like I don't have a problem with the silhouette. It's just the color. It's like
the initial.
Terrible.
I don't understand. Yeah, why the initial color isn't in Thunder colors?
I'm like, dude, because here's the thing.
It don't have to be Thunder colors. Just give us a story. Like,
no, I think that should be
you only get one time to get your first shoe.
You know what? Because you know what? I agree with him as far as like the team colors, because at the end of the day, you're a business. You got to sell shoes. That's going to be a more palatable introduction. Not to say you can't drop other colorways. Like,
no, that's what I said. Yeah,
that should be the first introduction, because if you're a Thunder fan, whether you in the sneakers or not, if you're a fan of Thunder, if you're a fan of him, you're going to get it because that's your team colors, right?
He ain't lying.
And so...
But you could have went the pre-Heat route. Prime example, LeBron 8 first colorway, it was not the first Miami Heat. It was not a Miami Heat colorway. It was a South Beach, like where his city was. Like it was more of a storytelling colorway. Yeah. That's what they do, the pre-Heat colorways. So I'm thinking you like the Kobe shoe that he wore, the Kobe 7, opening day shoe. Was like yellow, black. It was like something. It wasn't.
You're talking about shoes that are further down the line. When they first dropped, they were getting like Laker colorways, Cavs colorways.
But I'm saying you gotta take a little bit with these kids. I'm trying to meet in the middle. Like go back to 2012 where we drop a storytelling colorway, but kind of theme it to your city. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree with that. I'm saying that should be the second or third colorway we see, not the first.
I get that, but I think the other part is like, his shoe didn't drop till halfway in the season anyway.
Who?
Shai.
But also too, people don't rock the jerseys like we did to this day. Like we went out and bought the Browns, the Kobe's, the Jordan. They don't buy those jerseys like they do now. They even buy the older jerseys. So now I understand this. I think the second colorway should have been an OKC. The first colorway should have been a dope colorway story, a little bit of storytelling that people can grab and rock right now. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's just my personal take. Seeing that he's a big fashion.
I just think it's a safer bet. It's like, okay, cool. Like, because it makes sense. Whereas, like, you don't have to explain it. It's like, okay, he plays for OKC, so it makes sense for an OKC colorway to come out.
I'm not even saying it had to be white, blue, and orange. It could just be white and blue. Just white and blue, white and orange.
It ain't gotta look like the mascot wears it, but I agree.
Basic, not necessarily basic, but even with that, it could have had a story being told, and I mean, it could have put raindrops or something on there to make it feel like it was Thunder related. Like
that clay mode that they gave him.
Yeah, it just to me that's one of those things where it's like, again, how we keep saying like with Nike and Jordan, it's like it's almost like you tried, but you didn't really try.
Yeah, it's just like you got to understand, like we still got to sell product, and like I told him, we was just having a conversation. I'm like, once again, I'm not saying that athletes shouldn't have a say. It's your brand, it's your shoe. Of course you should have a say. But I think there should also be an acknowledgement of, okay, like we still have to sell products. So while this is dope to me personally. In the grand scheme of things, is this going to sell? Is this going to reach other people? And that clay, I mean, if it sells like crazy, then I mean, I'll shut the fuck up. But
what color was Devin Booker? What color was the first D book? Wasn't it like
there's
orange.
nothing that's gonna say
It was
that
orange.
shit.
It was like a desert orange.
There's nothing that's gonna say
but-
that shit.
But what I'm saying, at least that was somewhat like Suns.
But they didn't even sell the shoe. The first time that shoe came out, it came out of Miami. They
Yeah,
didn't even sell, they didn't even sell it
come
in
out
Phoenix. They didn't even sell it in Phoenix.
So where did this? So has the SGA shoe even come out?
I don't know,
think
but
so.
I think like this color, they could have saved this color for like Ferris Passion Week or New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Since he's bigger than that, he can debut there with like a fit. Like
You know what? They could have dropped a white and black pair that allowed you to highlight the features of that shoe. Like, you mean black and white, cool. I see it. You know, I can't wait for more colorways.
But yeah, you gotta think he's a risk taker, fashion, hooping wise. So he's gonna be
Yeah,
like, nah.
hey,
it's just-
well.
I mean, I'm just letting you know that's what.
I just feel
I'm
like-
fine with you. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I just think that.
But I kind of feel like he wouldn't have said much anyway. It's been his first signature shoe. So I'm even thinking from that aspect, he probably just been like, if these are the options that are available, I'm gonna just choose whatever the best option that's available is, rather than, well, hey, here's free reign.
I'm just
they
saying
gave
for
him
your-
free reign because
Oh,
Draymond
they
Green.
gave-
First of
yeah.
all, they gave Draymond Green a shoe, and then they let him do whatever they want to it. So
Yeah,
they
they
allowed him.
regretted that.
And so
Yeah, you see what
Shai
happened with
probably
that.
had a green light to do that, and he's the only person holding Converse up as we
Yeah.
currently speak.
But my thing is, if you Converse, you know, it behooves you to put your best foot forward. And for this to be his first signature shoe, the first iteration that we're all going to see, I think there was a better colorway and color blocking that y'all could have came like that shoe, because it's like you just looking at it and like you got to like find the features on there because it's just
The shoe looked like
just
tofu.
clay.
It's, you know what? I really think this is what they could do.
I mean,
If I was a
maybe-
VP,
maybe he was making
if I was a
bricks.
VP or CEO, I'll
This is
say
brick bubber.
Nike.
You know, C's
Jordan-
taking notes, right?
Nike, Jordan Brand. That's why he started bringing the iPad. Nike, Jordan Brand, Converse. Right? We taking the creative restraints off. Right?
Yeah.
Y'all go crazy. Whoever come up with whoever department wins sneaker of the year, y'all get this bonus and bragging rights. Whoever has the highest selling shoe or had the most colorways on social media impressions, you get let them have some type of onus and take pride in what they do. Nah, don't come out with nothing crazy disrespectful to people's religions and races and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
as far as creatively, just take the reins off and let them go, because guess what? You're going to see the person you're paying every year, their full potential. The consumer is going to get the best product you have to offer. The research and development team are going to say, let's try this. Let's try a Zoom Air. Let's put Zoom Air inside the shock, so it actually compresses and work even better. Like, you allow them to do that, and therefore you can smoke their competition because no one else is in that predicament to take them financial risk and creative risk and do that.
You talking about Nike?
I'm saying that's what they could do.
No, but I mean that leads to, because now it makes me think about LeBron, and he had like 100 colorways of the one shoe, and I think that could also be a detriment too, because you're not it's like you
No, I'm saying-
oversaturating the market.
No, I'm saying release. I'm saying far as design and colorway. If you come out, if you say they have 20 dope colorways, not drop all of them. Just say, okay,
Yeah.
we got 20 dope ones. Y'all smoke this.
Give us the hottest 10.
We're gonna take 10,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna tuck these other 10, and then we're gonna spin the block on them when they come retro.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a fucking idiot.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
see
Like,
what
No,
you're
or or shock,
they did it
or
with
shock release.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could do
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
in that essence where you now have dope stuff, or once a year we'll have a little like they did with LeBron shoe that we never got. Once a year we'll
tournament?
we had a tournament. We'll let the people pick which shoe they come
Oh,
out.
LeBron watch.
Yeah.
And what did they pick? They picked
the ring
The
ceremony.
ring
10s.
ceremony, yeah.
Yeah. So
And then didn't they also pick the 2K shoe?
no, that was just that shoe.
We ended up getting because I remember the purple Zoom generation. We did eventually
So
get
they
that.
gave us every shoe that lost except the shoe that won.
Yeah.
Elbow LeBron 2s was on there. Watch the Throne 9s was on there. Purple
to
Zoom
this
generation.
day, I don't know how to watch the Throne Nines.
Which ring ceremony was that? That was
The 10.
The 10, yeah.
It was the gold
Yeah.
pair with the sparkles on the
That's just
Minnesota.
another example of why some people shouldn't vote.
Get him out of here. Get him out.
But I'm saying, you had people who weren't LeBron fans voting, so that
Right.
skewed the, But kind of reminiscent of previous elections, but but you could have had once a year let the fans decide.
We should have stormed Nike.
Which shoe that? How about for Christmas and December we're gonna do the little Nike's thing. We're gonna let people decide which shoe come out for Christmas. Now you got people emotionally invested. Now you got all those type of things. You know what I'm saying? And also too,
that's how you bring individuality back, because now everybody has a voice.
And if you don't know what shoe to drop after that, you can look at the shoe that went in second and third place
and drop that.
Speaking of which, this made me think about it too. Going forward, and I'm not saying those specific names and where I got this from, but like they're looking to extend the window on certain silhouettes, which is why you look at the new KD 18 and why it looks damn near like the 17. They're just looking to extend the window on those designs to give themselves more time to come up with newer ones. So that's why a lot of these shoes, from what I've been told, have been. This is the conversation I be having with people, because it's like I do try to be fair to the brands, right? So like if y'all give me information about because it's like, okay, y'all have a point of view too, right? So what I try to do is try to take the credible points of views from the industry versus the ones from the community and try to blend them so that we have a nuanced conversation, right? Because it's easy as a consumer to be just mad at everything. Case in point, like when we first started this podcast, I didn't know that it took like 18 months to 2 years to go from concept to design, right? I don't know if I had a time frame in my mind, but I think a lot of people kind of operate they talk about a shoe this week and then it comes out next week. No, it's so it could be up to 2 years. So once I realized that it was like it took 2 years for a shoe to go from concept to retail, I became a little bit more forgiving, because when you gotta like forecast what's gonna be hot 2 years from now, like fashion changes on a dime sometimes. So you could have all these ducks set up in a row for the shoe to release, and then all of a sudden things have shifted and pivoted to something else. So now this ain't even hot no more, right? So I became a little bit more forgiving when it came to that. And so when they tell me stuff, it's like, okay, cool. So like, when they told me like, okay, we're trying to extend the windows of these signature shoes so that designers don't feel overwhelmed.
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? I didn't think so.
Because God, they drop in a million different colorways, different. You got so many different signature sneakers now, different athletes, more so than you used to. Like, because now you got Ja, you got Giannis, you got Sabrina, you got Asia, you got LeBron, you got KD, you got Devin Booker, you got who else? Paul George don't have a shoe no more. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Anyway, you got all these shoes going on, and you got so many different colorways. Like back in the day, Jordan had 4 colorways that dropped that year, 3 or 4. Now you got 20.
Yeah, more.
No, like on an average year.
I think
like back when Jordan
so
played.
Like 12s, he had taxis, cherries, playoffs, flu games. What's the other one? Obsidians.
Yeah.
And then
there's like 5 colorways for that. You talking about the ones? Well, the ones
had a lot of colors.
They dropped. They had a lot of colors. They had a lot of colors.
Yeah, 2s didn't have a lot of colors. 3s had
3 or 4.
Yeah, they had about 4 or 5.
4s had 4, about 4.
5s had about.
So it's about on average about 4. I mean, it's way more now when you got so many more signature athletes, and so it can be a little taxing on the designer. So I get it, but
all they gotta do, is you got Nike by you. Like, just put those shoes on there. Like, bam, there you go. Design. You don't have to design as many anymore.
That too, and also too, dial back, because some shoes don't even get it. Like, it's almost like they gotta think about releasing shoes as like artists, like record labels do releasing music. I got 2 bangers, but I gotta let Big Pimpin' breathe for 4 months to get its full effect before I come back with like whatever joint come after that. Give It to the Game or whatever, Parking Lot Pimpin'. Like you gotta let this stuff breathe when you drop this shoe. And then come back, people money's a little tighter. So by the time they come back to get that shoe, is another one. So they're gonna buy the latest one. So you did the shoe that you dropped first a disservice.